Hello and welcome to Let's Review. Human beings fear the unknown, and nothing is more unknown than death. Now, whatever your personal views on the existence of an afterlife are, there is a reason why fiction about it is so popular. And throwing its own hat into this particular ring is Train of Afterlife, a visual novel set on board a mysterious train as you take the role of somebody who has just died. But the question is it actually any good as a game? Well, once again, this is a visual novel that is very story focused and has no real gameplay outside the choices you make, and there are not many of them. As a result, there's no real point me showing you a gameplay demo, and this section of the review is going to be very short, by which I mean it barely even needs to be here. As such, I think we should just move straight on to the story. As I said before, Train of Afterlife is set on a train. After your life. The level of insight that people watch this show for. There are several other people on this train, but none of them can remember their past lives. The only way that they can remember anything is by playing the tarot cards, each of which gives them a flashback to their lives. You not going to interrupt me again? Oh, I will do, once you bring up the cliches that this game uses. I'm not actually sure that it has any. Then what is the point of me being here? You could help me bitch about its length. Yes, alright then. The game nominally takes place over the course of 12 hours, as each of the spirits on board the train will disappear within that amount of time. This can effectively be thought of as 12 turns, each one finishing with you reading one of the tarot cards. The exception of this being the first few hours, because over the course of the game you can only read 9 of the available 12 cards. So it is necessary to play the game for a second time in order to see all of these cards. Actually, it'll take 4 run-throughs. The reason for this is while you can see 9 cards on each playthrough, 8 of them will always be the same, because in order to see the second set of 4, you have to have seen all of the first set of 4. And in order to see any of the last 4, you have to have seen all of the 8 cards that preceded. As such, you'll only see one of those last 4 cards per playthrough. Expecting you to play the whole game 4 times is a little much, is it not? Well, that depends. Given that my first playthrough only took 52 minutes, you can quite happily bomb through it over the course of an afternoon. Well then, with a runtime that short, I would hope that there are at least significant changes to make repeat playthroughs worthwhile. Nope. I barely noticed any differences, and that's in spite of picking the different options deliberately to see what changed. As a result, I felt absolutely no compulsion to do 2 more run-throughs, and sitting through the same thing over and over again, just in order to unlock the ability to play as the creepy twin. Hang on one moment. There are creepy twins in this game? Yeah. And are they far closer than would seem normal? One does say that they can't live without the other. And you actually thought that this game was cliché-free. The creepy inseparable twins thing has been around for a very long time. Yeah, I'll give you that one. I hadn't actually thought of it. Overall, I like a lot of the ideas in Train of Afterlife, but it utterly fails to capitalise on any of them. You get too little chance to actually get to know any of the people on the train. You only get very vague glimpses into who they are and what they really are at the core of their being, and it feels like such a wasted opportunity. With an incredibly short run time, Train of Afterlife needed a lot more replayability and changes, and it just doesn't have it. Overall, the story is just really kind of disappointing. The art style for this game kind of works. It's a fairly simplistic style. Most of the passengers on the train are only ever visible as shadows since they now lack physical bodies. The one exception to this is your twin, who slowly comes into focus over the course of the game. And overall the art does what it needs to do. It sets the right sort of creepy tone, but there's nothing really exceptional about it. One thing I would like to compliment though is the designs on the 12 tarot cards, each of which is really nice, looks really good, and I think credit should be given there. Overall, that's really all I have to say about the art. The music for this game is fine. It does what it needs to and establishes a suitably creepy tone. It's just in no way memorable. I've heard an awful lot worse, but I've also heard a hell of a lot better. There's also no voice acting in this game, but that's pretty common for a lot of visual novels, and overall there's nothing really to say there. The sound effects are limited primarily to train noises, and yeah, well, they're fine. There's very little you can do to mess up sound effects like that. So, did I enjoy Train of Afterlife? In all honesty, I like a lot of the ideas that it presents, but the execution is just not very good, and as a result I can't honestly say that I did like it. Should you buy it? No. Look, here's the thing. I try not to bang on about price and length, but a game this short, with this little replayability, is hideously overpriced at 10 quid. If it was much better written, it might have been worth it, because at the end of the day, you can have really good short games and really terrible long games. Train of Afterlife manages to be far too short for its £10 price point and isn't good enough to justify that in spite of its short length. Overall, I can't recommend this one, not even at sale prices. Now, if you'll excuse me, I haven't eaten today and I'm bloody starving. I'll see you later.